Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic. This is the episode each week where we do, or attempt to do, what we originally set up the channel to do all those years ago, 2017, believe it or not. And we try and solve a cryptic crossword from the Times and talk you through it as well as we're able to try and help you with your own cryptic crosswords solving. Today's puzzle is again by James McGaughey, who's become a regular in these Friday slots because James's puzzles are just brilliant. And let's have a look at the statistics so we can see how hard this one is. I did check the snitch rating, which is this unofficial rating of the difficulty of a Times puzzle. You can find that if you just search on the internet for Times crossword snitch, you'll find the website. And it suggested this puzzle was only slightly harder than average. So we've got John McCabe there. That's 509. That's a real time. First two times here are not real. They are typists who get the answers, or I don't know whether they solve on paper first and then type them in. Misty Gris is real. So Lily is Liam Hughes, a fantastic solver as well. So you can see 5, 6, 7 minutes. I always look out for Matthew Marcus for Lane because he's a phenomenally quick solver. It's taken him 7 minutes. So and Jason James is brilliant as well, 9 minutes. So it's clearly not a walk in the park, but perhaps not as monstrous as some John Henderson puzzles we've had on a Friday in the past. Anyway, that's what we're going to be faced with. And we'll get cracking in a moment or two's time. A few things to mention before we kick off, though, today. Firstly, there was, I should say, a bonus video on the channel yesterday that you might not be aware of, but I think a lot of you will like because it's effectively a word puzzle. It was created for us by those clever folk over at Jane Street, and it took me a very long time to solve. It's a 3-hour, 10-minute video, and all of those lines are connecting things together, all of which have different sort of word rules related to them. It's a fascinating puzzle. Quite tricky, I think, but I do think a lot of you might enjoy it. So that was released on the channel yesterday morning. So you can, I'll try and remember to put a link on screen, but I'm not brilliant at remembering to do things like that. So hopefully I will, but if not, you can find it on the channel there. Also, welcome if you're coming to these videos from Minute Cryptic, which where we have a presence on certain other social media sites like Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, I think I can say with some confidence that the clues you're going to see in this puzzle will be absolutely brilliant. A Minute Cryptic is, the clues there are a very much looser collection, should we say. And in fact, this video, providing I can solve this puzzle, will go live roughly at the same time as the Minute Cryptic video from yesterday, which I didn't manage to make a YouTube short because it took me so long to solve. You will see why, and you will be able to judge whether you think that clue yesterday was in any way reasonable at all. Anyway, what else? Oh, now I wanted to congratulate a couple of our viewers, actually. We had a couple of messages, one from Kieran, whose wife's family have always been cryptic crossword solvers, and I think they tried to teach him, but he found it quite difficult to learn, and so he started to watch our videos, and he recently solved, unaided, his first Times crossword, and that is such a milestone. Kieran, that is brilliant. I think Kieran's a stand-up comedian as well. I'm always very impressed by people who could do stand-up comedy. You have to have a very quick mind, I think. And I assume that people who can do stand-up comedy will be good at cryptic crosswords because of actually Dave Gorman. Dave Gorman's become a sort of parasocial friend of mine, and he's obviously a brilliant stand-up comedian, and also a brilliant setter of cryptic crosswords, and a very good solver too. So yeah, so it does. Maybe it's in my mind because of Dave, but I think stand-up comedy and cryptic crosswords are sort of a natural. I think the Venn diagram of people who are good at one and good at the other might be quite extensive, although I can say with some certainty I would not be a very good stand-up comedian. I would be heckled and probably have eggs thrown at me. But never mind about that. Anyway, I also wanted to say very well done to Martin, who's been, I think, solving American crosswords for a long time, started to get into cryptic crosswords, and recently has started to be able to solve the quick cryptic. And that is fantastic. Although Martin was somewhat alarmed to find that in quick cryptic 3301 the other day, there was no hidden in the clues. So Martin obviously is doing what I used to do when I first started to solve cryptic crosswords, which is look for the hiddens and be very discombobulated if there are none. So I'm sorry about that, Martin. It is not always the case. It's very usually the case there will be one, but there doesn't absolutely have to be. Anyway, that's that. Oh, yeah, and over on Patreon, we had a viewer, Oskar, send in his first cryptic crossword, which Mark tested and really liked, so I had a go at it and recorded my solve of that. So if you want a bit of extra cryptic crossword content over on Patreon, you can find that right now. But that's all of the introduction, I think. No birthdays. I've talked about the Jane Street video, so why don't we have a go? Oh, I will just mention one other thing, which is those of you who watch the Sudoku videos will know that yesterday I had problems with a burglar alarm going off during the video. There is somebody coming round to check and try and make sure that doesn't happen again. If that happens, and for some reason, the electricity needs to be turned off or something, I will have to pause the video, but hopefully that won't be necessary. It's just a warning in case. But have we got a dictionary? Is the dictionary visible? Yeah, I think we're ready. So, without further ado, let's get cracking and see what James McGaughey has got in store for us. So, 1 across, 8 letters. Record counted male faults. Record counted male faults. Don't know this one yet. So remember, if you're completely new to cryptic crosswords, all of these clues have a straight definition of the answer that we have to enter. And that definition is normally at the start or the end of the clue. So this is very likely to be an 8-letter word that means record or faults, I would think. And the rest of the clue will be a recipe that tells us how to build up this answer from component parts. So it might say put a word into another word, or reverse a word, or anagram these letters. I mean, when I saw record, when I read record as the first word, my mind went to disc. Why did it go to disc? Well, because it's a short synonym for record, but also because disc is a lovely way to start a word, isn't it? Discover, for example. But faults doesn't mean discover. Disc, counted, summed. Male can be M, I think, as an abbreviation. I won't look that up in case that's wrong, but I think it can be. Oh, right, hang on. All right, if male can be M, then faults might be an anagram indicator. So if we treat counted M in a faulty way, that would give us 8 letters, wouldn't it? So can we make a word that means record out of counted M? A record is it might be record as a verb, or it might be as a noun. A record is some document. Oh, that's easy. I should have got that ages ago. Document. Okay, so M obviously can be male. Let's go to the dictionary and check that. So if we type in M, again, I say this every week, but abbreviations basically have to be supported by the dictionary. There are very few exceptions. Oh, and that's the doorbell, so that's going to be whoever's coming to fix the issues. Now let's find mail. Oh, it's actually the first one there. So let me check. You can see that, and you can. So that's all good. So mail. So document. We've understood that. Let's have a look at. Well, let's have a look at one down, which is 4-4. Now I've only read the first 3 words of this clue, but I'm immediately I'm certain the first 3 words are going to be part of the wordplay, the recipe. Why? For hands, the. Now, cryptic crossword writers love to use foreign words. So you might see an expression like the French, which literally means the translation, the English translation of the French word for the. Here, for hands, the. Hands is a German name. So what is the German word for the? Well, that's difficult, isn't it, in the sense that it's going to be der, die, or das, but I would be very surprised. Let's read the rest of the clue. It is always quite a good idea to read the whole clue. That's a tip from... It's a knowledge bomb from Cracking the Cryptic. So, for hands, the skyscraper resists destruction. Tower? Skyscraper. What could I want to... No, I only want to... Oh, no, well, I'm... Der, die, das. Resist destruction. So I do want a word like tower. Skyscraper. The skyscraper resists destruction. I want it to be something like dies or resists destruction. Dies hard. That is the answer. That's beautiful. It is actually the name of a skyscraper rather than it being a general description of a skyscraper. So many of you will know the Shard in London, which is a very large building. I used to work in the building I used to work in a building called Southwark Towers, which I think the Shard now sort of looms over. I don't know if I think they knocked down Southwark Towers to make the Shard. And so this goes back to when I first knew Mark, actually. So I used to work for a company called Price Waterhouse back in the day, who were based in Southwark Towers. And Mark, I think he was working for one of the exchanges at that time. And we used to meet at a variety of Pizza Expresses, sort of between the two of us at lunchtimes, and just do puzzles. Anyway, I digress. So, for hands, the is D. The tower is the Shard, dies hard, resists destruction. That's making me think about Alan Rickman. No, let's not think about Alan Rickman. Let's try 3 down. Mother and daughter spitting. That's quite an easy clue. Mother and daughter spitting. It conjures up an image. Not a very pleasant one. But how does it work? Well, can we think of any short synonyms for mother? You might refer to your mother as your ma. Daughter? That can be abbreviated to D. You may think, why? Again, it has to be supported by the dictionary. And D, I think, comes from family trees. If we go, I don't know where it's going to be here. You can see it there. So ma and D makes mad. And if you're spitting, you're angry, you're mad. Let's try 10 across. 5 letters. Group brought back inside under restrictions were out. I want this to be the word erred, because if you're out, you're getting something wrong. Were out. Now, yes, Martin, you're going to like this one. Okay, this is the one we all looked for when we started solving cryptic crosswords. It's the hidden. I used to tell people there's only one of these in any Times crossword, and then I was corrected by none other than the editor of the Times crossword, who said, no, they do allow more than one nowadays, so you could get 2 or even 3. But so this is the answer is erred. Now, when the constructor hides the answer in the clue, they have to tell you they've done it. They can't just hide it and expect you to find it. They have to say, look, solver, I've hidden the answer in the clue. Now, the way they do that is obviously they're not literally going to say, oh, look, I hid it there. They're going to use language that disguises the fact they've hid it, but it still will have to say they've hidden it. So, group brought back inside is saying, look at a group of letters brought back reversed inside the string of letters under restrictions, UNDER, REST, etc. And you can see hidden in the middle there, backwards, ERRED, erd. And that's how it works. Let's try it. 2 down. 7 letters, beginning with C. Coach Brazilian dance, but for small Spanish boy. Spanish dances. I want to say samba. Sorry, not Spanish, Brazilian dances. Coach. Is a coach a car, as in a railway car? Okay. Car. Well, I don't know quite how this is working. I don't know the answer. But if coach is car, let's say Brazilian dance is the samba, but for small. That suggests, because S is a valid abbreviation of small, and that is not supported by the dictionary, by the way. If we go to the dictionary, even if you had a modern dictionary, which this definitely isn't, this is from about 2005 or something, this electronic dictionary. But if you trot through all the S's, you won't find small. But it is the exception to the rule, basically. It's still allowed as an abbreviation at times because it's so well understood. From clothing labels, if you saw S on a clothing label, you'd know it meant small. So it's considered to be so ubiquitous that it doesn't need explanation. So if we take the word for Brazilian dance, samba, but for the S, that's how we could read that, isn't it? But for S. That would give us amber, caramba. Is that like hi caramba? Is that like Bart Simpson? Does he say? Is that how you say what he says? And is that the name of a Spanish boy or a Spanish word for boy? I do not know. But this is the great thing about crosswords generally, is I do not know this word, and therefore I'm not looking it up. And I will look it up if I can justify the acrosses. So if this M is right and this A is right, then I will be prepared to look this up, because I don't think there could be another way of reading the clue. But I don't know this, and I'm wondering whether it's sort of a reference to the... Well, I'm sure it isn't a reference to The Simpsons per se, but that's the way I've heard that word before. Should we try 12 across then? 9 letters, H blank M possibly at the start. Ring worn by maiden, with perfect ambiguity you hear. An ambiguity you hear. What is that? The word that's in my brain, and it's not right, is a mondegreen. Now, where has that come? I think a mondegreen is one of those things like, if you've ever heard the song Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, excuse me while I kiss... It sounds like Kiss This Guy, but it's not. It's Kiss the Sky is the official, and that's a mondegreen, I think. So that would be an ambiguity you would hear. I don't know. So let's try 4 down. 5 letters beginning with N. Explosive nitra, I'm thinking. Opening sequence with twist at the start. Intro. Yeah, okay. Oh, hang on. Nitro then. I thought it was going to be nitra, but maybe it's nitro. Because that's an opening sequence, an intro, in which the first 2 letters have been twisted round. They've been switched. So nitro as in nitroglycerine. Maybe that is a shortened form of nitroglycerine. Oh, no. This is homophone. Right. It's nothing so exotic as a mondegreen, which makes me happy to look up mondegreen. Is mondegreen actually a word, or is it? It is a word. A phrase often humorous or nonsensical that results from mishearing the lyric of a song, coined in 1954 by Sylvia Wright after she had mistaken the phrase "laid him on the green." Oh, for mondegreen. Ah, okay, so hang on. That's reminding me. Golden brown. Golden. Yeah. I never used to understand golden with the lyric there, with my mind she runs. I always used to say, think it was with my Manchurans, and I didn't know what a Manchuran was until I was about until very recently. I was like, what is a Manchurian? But it's not a Manchurian. It's with my mind she runs. Anyway, mondegreen, it is in the dictionary. But homophone. A homophone is a classic type of cryptic crossword clue. So I'm sure this is right. And what is a homophone? A homophone is an example of a homophone would be, let me think, meat, the word meat. Now, as we hear the word meat, we wouldn't necessarily know its spelling. It could be M-E-A-T or M-E-E-T, and those have very different meanings, but they are homophones of one another. So ambiguity you hear would be a lovely definition of that. Now, why is it homophone? Because the recipe has to give us the word. Ring, a hoop, worn by a maiden. M can be an abbreviation for maiden. And if you perfect something, you hone it. Lovely clue. Homophone. Now let's go for that also suggests caramba might be right. Let's try 15 across. 7 beginning with R. Region suffering, gales very keen to get ropes with nothing secured. And I apologise for the way I read these clues. I'm reading them to try and understand how to solve them. I'm not reading them as sentences. Right, region suffering gales. That would be a nice, like, it's not the answer, but Bermuda Triangle or something. Region, very keen. If you're very keen, you're really avid to get ropes with nothing secured. Well, I don't know. I think this is the name of a shipping region that suffers a lot of gales. Let's try 13 down. 11 letters beginning with P. Careful gambling with higher pot one's put into. Oh, okay. That's shifted down because the internet's just been turned off. Let me just check that the let me just check that the hang on, there's a few things I should do. I think you can still see the screen, but what I'm actually just going to do is sorry. Okay. Right, sorry. This was always a risk, but I think we can carry on solving. Anyway, sorry, 11 down. Careful gambling with higher pot one's put into. I think this is going to be a word that means careful. Gambling. Poker? With higher pot. I don't know that. I don't know that. Let's try 11 across. 4-5, beginning with T. Earthbound fragment having brought down plane. That's a great surface. Earthbound fragment having brought down plane. I haven't got a clue what that is. Earthbound. If you're earthbound, what are you? You're sort of... Oh, that's the door again. It's all kicking off. I don't know what that one is. Let's try 2-4. Twin lives or lives with doctor's intervention acting without payment. Pro bono? No. Twin lives. That makes me think it's a word. It's more like if something lives, it is. So could it be is? Acting without payment. With doctor's intervention. Doctor is one of these funny words in cryptic crossword land which has so many different connotations. If you doctor the letters, what would that suggest? That could suggest an anagram, couldn't it? So doctor can be used as an anagram indicator. But doctor also has many abbreviations. I'm sure you're familiar with loads of them. GP, go and see your GP. DR, doctor. MO, medical officer. Twin lives or lives with doctor's intervention, acting without payment. I don't know. I think that's the definition, acting without payment, but in or at will, don't know, not sure. I need to get one of these. 8-3. Nearly all hosts leave you hanging over sleeping arrangements. So you can, if I read that as a sentence, nearly all hosts leave you hanging over sleeping arrangements. It's beautifully worded, but the way I read it is differently. I think nearly all, that could be AL, nearly all of the word all. Hosts includes leave you hanging over sleeping arrangements. I don't know. I'm not sure what that is either. This has suddenly got very sticky. Trying to work out where's the best place to look. Maybe, well, let's try 14 across. 5 letters. Place to go. After school. Paid for by students' club. Place to go after school. Paid for by students' club. School paid for by students. Well, that's a very odd expression. Place to go. Believe it or not, what I'm thinking there is that a toilet? A place where you would go to the loo? So could it be a loo or lav? Or, I mean, it could be WC, but obviously W and C are very seldom seen together in words. Students' club. Place to go after school paid for by students' club. It's a brilliant clue. I really admire the surfaces of all James's clues because they read so well. I haven't got a clue what the answers to half of them are, though. Let's try 14 across. Doctor in Acton slept on ottoman seat. Well, I can do this. And actually, doctor, we talked about it in this one, which we couldn't solve. But one of the meanings of doctor, I said, was it could be an anagram indicator. You doctor the letters. So in Acton slept on, there's 14 letters there. So we're going to doctor them. An Ottoman seat is not referring to a piece of furniture. It's referring to a capital of the Ottoman Empire, which I think was Constantinople, which I probably spelt wrong, but it's something like that. So let's try 19 down. 7 letters, sorry, beginning with O. Effluent, striking, seducer from behind. Effluent, is that oil? Striking, seducer from behind. How many words do we know for seducers? Lotharios? Romeo? Satyrs? Satyrs are sometimes seen as being seducers, I think. I don't know whether was Apollo particularly a seducer. I was trying to think of things ending in O, that's why. Effluent. I don't know this one. I'm going to try 21 down. It'll give me 3 starting letters. Oh no, it's a spoonerism. So yeah, let's read the clue anyway, and then we can admit we don't understand how to do it. 6 letters. Combination room, spoke little to Spooner. Now, this reference to Spooner, we've talked about it on the channel before. It is a reference to the Reverend Spooner, who I think was somebody in about the 1920s, who would confuse the sort of pronunciation or of phrases. So rather than hanging gardens, he might have said ganging hardens. Probably didn't, but he might have said that. That's the sort of the play that that Reverend Spooner was involved in. So combination room. What's that then? That's some sort of old style room, is it? Like a spoke little, said. Spoke little. If you spoke little, what's a phrase for speaking little? Spoke little, said nothing, stayed mum, made some. Spoke little. Said quiet. No, I mean, I think if you do see references to spoonerisms in clues, my recommendation would be leave them to the end. Let's try 5. This one, 22 across, 5 letters. Lower paid actor, cross cuts affected rate. So if I read that as it's meant to be read, lower paid actor cross cuts effective rate. Paid actor cross cuts affected rate. I don't actually quite know how that's meant to be read, actually. Lower paid actor cross cuts affected rate. Right. What on earth is that talking about? Don't know. Should we try 16 down? I've had a whole run of ones I can't solve at all now, ever since the internet went down. 16 down, 8 letters. Discriminating schools, finally. Serving chocolate bar with batter on. Oh, it's a beautiful service as well. Sounds delicious. Discriminating. Schools, finally. Oh, well, Schools, finally, is probably S. I'm wondering whether it could be an 8-letter word for discriminating schools, though. Like private schools or grammar schools or something. Serving chocolate bar. Serving chocolate bar with batter on. I don't know. That's very cleverly worded. I don't know. Oh, I've got an N in this one. Nearly all hosts leave you hanging over sleeping arrangements. Is that some sort of hammock net or something? Let's try 20 down. 7 letters beginning with P. Model in some pain, removing heels. There's another. I mean, the surface of that is extraordinary, isn't it? Model. You pose. In some pain. Removing heels. I haven't got. That's very cleverly worded. I haven't got a clue what that is either. I've suddenly come to an absolute dead halt. This is terrible. Right, we're going to go for this one. 7 down, 7 letters. Turn defeat into ecstasy. Turn defeat into ecstasy. Do we think this means turn, or do we think it means ecstasy? I think it's probably more likely to be turn, revolve or something. Because ecstasy can be abbreviated to E from the drug. You can do a tab of E. Not that I ever have, but you can. And so ecstasy is abbreviatable to E. Turn, revolve. No, that's not helping me either. 6 letters. Blue flash and noise from microwave. Ping? Blue. Oh, this is a solvable one. I haven't got it yet, but it's solvable. I have solved it. That's lovely. Blue flash and noise from microwave. So again, just a great surface that conjures up a funny image in your mind. So let's obey our rules. Which side of the clue do we think the definition is? Make a decision. It's one of the best recommendations I can give when you're watching these videos is to really try and make a decision in your own mind before you continue and watch me try and analyze it. What do you think the definition is? Have you been able to read the clue correctly? It doesn't matter necessarily about solving the clue, but have you read it correctly? Have you identified which side of the clue is the definition? If you think it's blue, correct. Correct. So flash and noise from microwave. A flash is if something happens in a flash, what happens? It happens very quickly. So we're looking for a short word, short synonym for a quick instant. And the one thing we're looking for here is a mo. A mo is a flash, just a mo, give me a moment. And the noise from a microwave is a ping. Put those together, moping. And if you're blue, if your mood is blue, you're low, you're down, you're moping, aren't you? So what is this one then? Ending in M. Twin lives or lives with doctor's intervention, acting without payment. If something could a word that means lives be am? I am, I live. Ooh. I'm just wondering if this is am at the end. Dram, acting without payment, something dram. Doesn't feel correct, does it? Oh, we've got a P at the end of this one. Oh, that's no. Hang on, I need to read that. Okay, now I think it's okay. Earthbound fragment. having brought down plane. Earthbound fragment. Having brought down. Aha. Okay, this is a beautiful clue. I love clues like this. When this sort of clue is done well, it's so satisfying when you finally understand it. So I have said that most of these clues, oh dear, hang on. Oh dear, hang on. Okay. Hang on, I just need to send a text about this whole situation. Sorry about this. Yeah, so I said most clues have a definition at the start or the end of the clue. Now, there are two types of clues that are distinct from that. And one is the cryptic definition, which is almost always signified by a question mark at the end. And the question mark can have other meanings, so don't look through these clues, find a question mark and go, oh, that's definitely a cryptic definition. It might be, but it might not as well. Question mark has other meanings. But where you see a question mark, you can wonder whether the clue would be a cryptic definition. Now, what is a cryptic definition? It means we have to read the whole clue and think about it laterally. So earthbound fragment having brought down plane. We have to read the whole thing because it is defining this answer. The whole of this is defining this answer, just in a very cryptic way. Now, the key to this is this word plane, because the surface makes us think about a jet plane coming down, doesn't it? But there are other meanings of plane. A plane is a type of tree. Now, what would be the fragment that would be earthbound? If you've brought down a tree, it would be the tree stump. Oops. And that's the answer. The earthbound fragment having brought down the tree, is the tree stump. It's very clever, very well worded, completely fooled me. But we got it. So let's look at this one. We haven't looked at this. 9 letters. No, 9 down, 8 letters. Torture to Peter, holding large beam up. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliantly worded. Torture to Peter, holding large beam up. And I think the way I read that actually I did read it correctly in the sense of if you're trying to solve it. So again, make your decision. What do you think the definition is? If you think it's torture, no, it's not. If you think it's up, it's not that either. It's actually beam up, literally in the sense of Star Trek. Beam me up, Scotty. What is beaming up? It is teleporting. Something the rats are very familiar with if you've been following our Sudoku series on Wednesdays. So teleport is the answer. And how does the recipe work? We're going to torture the letters to Peter. There are 7 of those, and they are going to hold L, which is a valid abbreviation for large, again from clothing labels. Isn't that gorgeous? That's a fantastic clue. So, where do we go from here? I'm not actually getting many. Got an S in this one. Let's read this once more. Nearly all hosts leave you hanging over sleeping arrangements. Nearly all hosts leave you hanging. If you leave somebody hanging, what do? You sort of drop them, don't you? Sleeping arrangements. I feel like I should be able to get that one, and I can't see what it is. Let's try, have we looked at that one? Oh, we have looked at that one. Bother, let's try this one again. 11 letters beginning with P. Careful gambling with higher pot one's put into. Careful, prudent. With higher pot one's put into. Okay. I think I know the answer to this, but I don't know why. If you're careful about something, you are painstaking. Now, why is that right? Gambling is staking. Yeah, that's right. Wow, it's well worded again. So, careful, painstaking. Gambling, if you gamble, you stake, don't you? So, staking is gambling. With higher, well, this is down clue. So higher up than the word staking, we're going to put a word for a pot. And that word is pan, as in pots and pans. But one's been put into the pan. And that one is this I, because it's the Roman numeral for the number 1. So that gives us painstaking. Now what's this then? Reading glass? No, this is the region suffering the gales. Or is it an anagram of... No, it's not. Anagram of region, I suddenly thought. Suffering gales very keen to get ropes with nothing secured. Roaring 40s is the answer, isn't it? I think that is a part of the sea, the 40s being a line of latitude or something. So why? So region suffering gales, roaring 40s. Very keen, raring, if you're raring to go. Very keen to get ropes. Oh, raring for must be very keen to get. Ropes are ties, and then with nothing, O, the letter O can signify nothing. And you may say, that's nonsense. How does that work? Well, if you look up in the dictionary, the letter O, what does it mean as a word? It is in here. There you go. Nothing. It's literally defined that way, so it can do. So roaring 40s. Now we've got it is G. I wondered about that. Discriminating schools. So I think this is going to be finally serving. It's going to be the final letter of the word serving for that G there. Chocolate bar with batter on. What's a short synonym for a batter? Is this grammars then? As in grammar schools? Chocolate bar is Mars. It is. A batter is in a ram. That's brilliant. Discriminating schools finally serving chocolate bar with batter on. I mean, it's just like, what is that sort of urban myth about Scottish fish and chip shops serving deep fried Mars bars? I think that's sort of being referenced here. So anyway, how does it work? Finally serving G, chocolate bar Mars, as in a Mars chocolate bar, with a batter on it. A batter is a ram. That gives grammars, which are discriminating schools. That's a fantastic clue as well. So now, 23 across, beginning with M, 9 letters. In lying about, objective, public speaker, breezes, moratoria? They're sort of hiatuses, aren't they? Hiatuses. In lying about. It's so well worded again. In lying about objective, public speaker freezes. I mean, the wording of that is it's so well done, and yet the recipe is gorgeous here. So what it's saying is, think of a word for an objective. An objective is an aim. Now, so inside lying about aim, i.e. if the word aim is lying about, so it's in the wrong order, it's been turned about and it's lying there. So M-I-A, we're going to put a word for a public speaker, an orator, and that does give us moratoria, and then moratoria are freezes. So this is, I thought it was going to be is it something net then, is it? Sleeping arrangements. Mosquito net. Oh, it's definitely right. It's going to be mosquito net. I don't know why. Now, how does it work? Nearly all hosts. Leave will be quit. You hanging over. Hang on. I don't know. I think it's mosquito net. Nearly all hosts leave you hanging over. Nearly all. Okay, nearly all is most, isn't it? So most is hosting. Leave, quit. You hanging over. No, you. Okay, I think you is being used as one here. And then the definition is not sleeping arrangements, it's a hanging, literally a noun, the word hanging over sleeping arrangements, because you would drape a mosquito net over a bed, wouldn't you? So hanging over sleeping arrangements is the definition. It's so, again, it's incredibly well worded. Nearly all hosts leave you hanging over sleeping arrangements, but the way you have to read the clue to understand it is nearly all hosts leave you to give you to equal a hanging over sleeping arrangements. So you, the only part of this I'm pausing over is whether you defines the word one. One does you. I think it does in some contexts. I can't think immediately of one, but I think it. That would be my guess as to how we have to do it. Yeah, but anyone it's defined as. That could certainly be one, couldn't it? So that is how we are meant to read this. Now this one, what is the Amdram? Acting without payment, amateur dramatics. I even said dram. Oh, no. Oh, I had a moment like this doing that Jane Street puzzle. Actually, the one I had during the Jane Street puzzle was worse, to do with biblical stuff. But anyway, that's bad. To think dram and then not think amdram. Amateur dramatics. Acting without payment. Beautiful. Beautiful. So the twin lives, two words that mean lives, am and am, surround the doctor, dr. Is this routine? Turn defeat into ecstasy. Turn. Is it routine? I think it is. If you take a turn, or your turn on the stage, he did a good turn. That would be the routine you saw on the stage, I think. I think turn can be a word for something that you see on a stage, and that could be a routine. So how does the recipe work? A defeat is a route. Into, in means into, doesn't it? And ecstasy is E. So it's routine. This looks like it's going to have to be union. Oh, students' union. So place to go after school. Paid for by students' club. Right, place to go after school. Still don't understand it. Paid for by Students' Club. Is a place to go. Oh, a place to go after school is a uni. Paid for by. Oh, it's again, the wording is it's so well done. Yeah. So it's very straightforward once you understand it, which I failed to do over and over again. So place you would go for schooling after school would be a university, a uni. If something is paid for by somebody else, it's footed by them, isn't it? It's on them. Oh yeah, we had a meal on so-and-so. So uni on union. Beautiful. This is a fantastic puzzle. And, once you solve the clues, they make sense. There's nothing unreasonable about them. They're just so clever that it's hard to solve them, first time round, if you like. Let's try 17 down. 8 letters. Parking inside tower where drivers stand wisecracking. Parking inside tower where drivers stand wisecracking. Wisecracking is going to be something like badinage or ribaldry or something. That's going to be. I think wisecracking is the definition. Parking, I think, will be P, as in the signposts with P on them, and you see in the streets. Tower or tower where drivers stand. Don't. Wisecracking. Hijinks, japery. I don't know. Not sure. But we've got an A at the end of this. Oh, that was the horrible one. Lower paid actor. Cross-cuts effective rate. Oh, one thing I was thinking when I wrote mosquito in is it has a Q in it. So is it still possible this is a pangram? Oh, carumba. Okay, we're not going to change that then. But we are going to look it up just to see if it's in the dictionary. Yeah, there we go. Oh, wow. So it's not a Spanish word for boy, but if you said to somebody, oh, boy, it would be a euphemistic expression of surprise or annoyance, wouldn't it? So that's the sense in which it's being used here. Spanish boy. It's a Spanish euphemism for an annoyance. Caramba. Okay, let's try this one. What's that going to be? 25, 7, 2. Okay, Oriel Dons subverted. There should be, hopefully, if you're getting used to these clues, you should build up an alarm in your head that goes when you see something that looks like an anagram. And hopefully, for some of you, you'll read Oriel Dons and you'll be thinking, those letters just look weird. Whenever you see a string of letters and they look weird, it's probably because the constructor needed to use those particular letters. And why would the constructor need to use those particular letters? Because it's an anagram. So Oriel Dons, that is 9 letters. They're being subverted. So they're going to be rearranged. Progress stubbornly. Soldier on is the answer. And that was much easier, wasn't it? Let's try this one. 24 down, 5 letters, beginning with R. Movement against. Party being led by Republican. Okay. Again, make your decision. What do you think the definition is? Here, if you think it's movement, you might be right. If you think it's movement against, you're wrong. If you think it's Republican, you're wrong. It is just the word movement. So how does it work? If something is against something, it would be leaning on it, wouldn't it? A party is a do. She was having a do at her house. And those on and do are being led by an abbreviation for Republican, R. And a rondo is a musical movement. Now let's go for 28 then. 2-6. Tea drinking without Anglicanism, never. No chance, I think. Okay, I think it's going to be no chance. I need to work out why. I think it's this, non-CE, yeah. So never is no chance. Tea drinking. Now, are there any synonyms for tea? Char. Could I have a cup of char? I mean, it's not something I've ever heard in real life, but it is a word. If we look up char in the dictionary, there, literally it says it, tea. So, the word for tea, char, is being drunk by an expression that means without Anglicanism. Anglicanism is to do with the Church of England, so non-CE is the expression. The question mark here is because if we look up non-CE in the dictionary, it won't say, it'll say something else actually, but it won't say without Anglicanism, because non-CE is sort of a made-up phrase that could mean without Anglicanism. And obviously then we get no, never, no chance. Now we've got this one now, 26 down, 3 letters. Last in series, those finishing Succession couldn't stomach. Well, I will say that Succession, I think, is the best thing that's been on television since Game of Thrones. Incredible, the writing in that. Oh, it was incredible. What? Oh, I really want to go into some of the dialogue, but so much of it is unsuitable for a family video. No, can't do it. So what's this? Last in series. Nth? Yeah. Those finishing Succession couldn't stomach. Well, those letters that finish the words Succession, couldn't, and stomach are N, T, and H. And the last in the series would be the nth term in the series. Is this portion? 7 letters, beginning with P, ending in N. Model in some pain. Removing heels. Puritan? In some pain. I feel like it's a Puritan, but I can't justify it. Let's try 26 then. 5 letters beginning with N. Most of the booze brought over in time for soiree. Most of the booze brought over in time for soiree. It's so well worded again. Most of the booze brought over in time. Time for a soiree would be night. Why is it night? Oh, it is. Most of the booze is saying most of the word, the, th, booze, type of booze is gin, all brought over, turned round. So most of the booze brought over in time for soiree is night. So it's a paragon then. It's not Puritan. A model is a paragon, as in a paragon of virtue. Don't know why yet. Agony or something. Some pain. In some pain, removing heels. Yes, okay, that's clever. So what the way that we have to read this to understand it might have deserved a question mark, because can a word really have a heel? Maybe it can, in a down clue. We need a word for some, part. We need a word for pain, agony. So imagine we put part and agony together, going downwards, and we remove the heels, i.e. the bottoms of both words, and that would give agon, paragon. Lovely again. So this a repartee wisecracking. That's going to be right. Now, why? Parking inside. Tower where drivers stand. Oh, drivers stand on the tee in golf. Parking is P. Inside tower. Why? Oh, yeah. If you tower over somebody, you would rear over them, wouldn't you? A dog might rear up, or a horse might rear up and tower over you. So tower is rear. Where drivers stand to tee off would be on the tee. So rear tee around P. It's another fantastic. This is one of the best sets of clues that I can remember seeing. It's fantastic, this puzzle. Now, can we just finish this off then? 27 across 6 letters. Cost of getting hitched. Also curtailed earnings. Cost of getting hitched. Also curtailed earnings. I think this is going to be something like towage or something. I think it is towage. The clue seems to suggest it's about the cost of getting married. But I think we can read it differently. The cost of getting hitched, as in tied to something and pulled by it, would be towage. I think that is a word. And I can justify this from the recipe. Can we think of a synonym for the word also? T-double-O. And that's going to be curtailed, so we're going to shorten it to T-O. And your earnings are your wage. And that gives towage. So this should be doable now, ending in W. Oil flow. Effluent striking seducer from behind. Wolf. A wolf is a seducer. So reversing wolf will give us flow. Ah, it's not oil flow, it's outflow. Right, effluent must be outflow. So, because if you're striking, if you're a worker who's striking, what are you? You're out. It's sort of a euphemism for somebody on strike. So outflow, effluent. I'm not changing that, so I think we can look up effluent and check what the meaning. Oh, it literally means flowing out, effluent, outflow from sewage during purification. Okay, well, that's absolutely standard then, isn't it? So lower paid actor is blank blank T blank A. Cross cuts affected rate. Well, this is clearly a reference to Mark's appearance in Bridget Jones. Yes, he is in Bridget Jones. You know the main character. No, he wasn't the main character in Bridget Jones, but he was an extra in Bridget Jones. You can see Mark, a young Mark, if you watch the bit where Hugh Grant drives up to collect Bridget from her sort of flat in London, or maybe it's his flat in London, and he has an open-top car. And there's an instant where a man walks along the pavement, and if you look carefully, you will notice that that man is Mark. And that's true. That's true. Anyway, how does it work? Why is this extra? A lower paid actor is an extra. I don't know if Mark was paid, but anyway, never mind. Cross, if you put a cross on a piece of work, you would put an X on it, wouldn't you? And that's this X. And that's cutting the letters rate they've been affected. They've been anagrammed. And then what's this? Bed sit, I want to say. Combination room. Is that a bed sit? Spoke little. So said. Yeah, I think it is bed sit, isn't it? So let's spoonerize the word bed sit. So let's swap the B and the S around. That would give us said bit if we pronounce it. Said bit. So if you only said a bit, you didn't say very much. You spoke little. I think that's how it works. So bedsit is a combination room. I don't really even know what a combination room is. I suppose, yeah, that's okay. That's where you have a bed and you sit down. So it's like serving two purposes. And that is going to be the solution to the puzzle. And was there a Z or a J? No. But did we care? No, because that is one of the best crosswords you will ever see. Submit without leaderboard, because I definitely wasn't racing. Hopefully I didn't have any typos. It felt correct, didn't it? It didn't feel like there were too many concerns there. And it's just a fantastic crossword. Simply fantastic. Let's have a quick go, hopefully, at the quick cryptic. Hopefully my internet will allow me to... does seem that I have got internet again, so hopefully we'll be okay to upload the puzzle. Right, let's have a look at this. It's by Worm. Mr. Kite arranged for frog that sings Kermit. Pupils do this in absurd detail. Dilate. Anagram. Didn't type it though. Right, let's try and use the downs. Done, deed, done. Absolutely correct. Exact. Teacher and head of years. Expertise. Mastery. Missing final T. Problem with economy. Not failed. Rocking. Deflation maybe? Might be. Language. I'm going to go for Latin. That could be wrong. Senator ruined in betrayal is treason. Scooby-Doo possibly smashing Hamlet. Comic dog? No, I don't know. What's this? Fall short, full staff. Affected part in twee. Regularly, that feels like an sty. Taslung spreading Gorbachev's glasnost or something, wasn't it? Deny organisation back limiting means preventing erosion. Ugh, no idea. Home country far from the sea. Inland. Slug in news report bulletin. Northern prior nape. Dynasty name. Russian fighter protects Ming. Like Titanic in reality. As giant. Don't know. Insect Ringo, for example. Beetle. Damage counts for US City. Don't know. Okay, Scooby-Doo. Great Dane. Soldier out in Egypt bears standard. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's annoying. Occult in barking. Barking. Lunatic. That's a good clue. Match not serious is light. Post office holding saucy image is photo. A vampire perhaps bat. Okay, what's this? Groin or something? Means of preventing erosion. As like Titanic in reality. Bottom or something? I don't know. Like. I don't know what that is. Damage counts for US City. Damage. Oh, Tucson. Like Titanic in reality. At. Why can't I see the answer to that? That's really weird. Or is this routine? This routine might be stacked. Soldier out in Egypt. Bears standard. Reunite? Oh, out. Oh, it's actually a hidden. I couldn't understand that at all. At bottom is my best bet for this. Like. It can't be. Scooby-Doo was a Great Dane. Hamlet was a Dane. Smashing. Yeah, that lunatic photo. As bottom, as like Titanic in reality, as Titanic, absolutely in reality, as, oh, and this is unbelievable, Titanic. This is just so bad. It's so bad. Like at bottom. B-A. I don't want to get this wrong. That's the problem. Titanic. Button. In reality. Don't know. And there's that, but it might be there's a phrase at bottom, which I'd never heard of in my life. At bottom. Titanic in reality. Question mark. Is it a reference to the film or the ship? I mean, the ship, the Titanic, is at the bottom. I mean, is it that? I just don't know that expression. I'm going to have to go for it because I mean, it's already the most dreadful time ever. That's correct. What? I'd never heard that expression. I mean, I think I even said it. At bottom. Oh, it is there. At bottom. Where? What does it mean? I'm trying to find it. But fundamentally at bottom. Really? Okay, well, sorry about that. I just didn't know that word, which is very bad indeed. The thing's moving all over the place now. That's appalling, isn't it? So I'm very sorry about that, but I learned something new. At bottom means fundamentally, and yeah, I could have been a bit quicker apart from that. Anyway, it's been a fabulous day of crosswording today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to stop now and try and get, hopefully my internet will allow this to be uploaded at some sort of reasonable time. And do let me know how you're getting on with your cryptic crossword solving. And yeah, please remember to like and subscribe and try and get these videos seen as far and wide as possible. We would appreciate that. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Bye now.